Now we see Ventress on Ragosa trying to make King Katunko an ally, with the CIS wanting to build a strategic supply depot on his world of Toydaria. The king was only planning to meet with Yoda, but when Dooku learned of this pending talk, he sent his Dark Acolyte. To make it seem like the Jedi had abandoned him, she put in place a comms block maintained by a blockade with Munificent-class frigates. When Yoda did arrive, they were able to destroy his ship, but Yoda and a trio of loyal clones made it out on escape pods and crashed down on the moon's surface. Ventress is able to use this defeat to imply that for the sake of his people, he should have a strong ally, and they agree on a challenge to see if Yoda is as capable as he claimed. Of course, she had no plans on playing fair. The Jedi and just 3 clones would be faced with hundreds of droids and even AATs, and when a distant smoke cloud seemed to signal their death, a callback to the king showed the Toydarian was relieved to see Yoda lived. Fuming, she crushes his calm, and eventually the king snaps as well, rebuking Dooku for the behavior of his representative. And the Count's response was plainly to tell her to kill the king. As her blades come down towards his head, they were stopped by the little green Jedi. With a mere gesture, Yoda sent Ventress flying backwards, mocking her dependence on the dark side. He effortlessly took her lightsabers, playfully proposing her surrender, but showing his compassion, being the opposite to her in every way. Where she didn't play fair, he even gives her sabers back. She responds by setting off explosives that take down a nearby cliff, distracting them so she could escape via her Punwarko 116 class sloop. Dooku felt personally insulted by the king and vowed that one day he would have his revenge. Though she was now on a string of losses, Dooku did understand that she was going up against the most capable Jedi in the Order, and she and General Grievous would be entrusted with the most complex military operation yet. The attack on Kamino, hoping to cut off the supply of troopers, was a mission whose significance was obvious to the entire galaxy. But it's also why there was such a robust communication network and warning system in place. And while this operation was being carried out, she was on Kamino taking a single stealth-enabled ship for deep reconnaissance. But when they got word that the droids that took over the outpost had been discovered, and the resulting battle led to the destruction of the comm tower, which just receiving no signal was itself treated as an attack warning, the Separatists had lost their element of surprise and had to wait to strike another day. This was followed by the destruction of Skytop Station and the capture of Nute Gunray. The Neimoidian was one of the most well-informed beings in the galaxy, and in an odd way, he knew more about Darth Sidious than anyone besides Dooku, having been in contact with the Lord for decades. If some of those Republic torture specialists got their hands on him, they might be able to reveal something that could lead to the Sith's secret identity. Ventress would lead the assault on the Venator-class Star Destroyer Tranquility, which was on its way to Coruscant. Her manipulation expertise had previously been focused on Republic Senate Commando Pharaoh Argus, who was leading the security detail escort. The first stage of the attack was to have Droch-class boarding ships pierce through the Venator's hull and insert dozens of battle droids. The Dark Acolyte would use the chaos to slip in undetected, but didn't pass up an opportunity to indulge in the terror of the final moments of the last trooper. Moving through the ventilation shafts, she spread thermal detonators across the engine room, even getting past the surprisingly diligent 327T Treadwell droid. Finally, she descended on the detention center, as the clones were mopping up the droids and feeling like they ended this threat. Dropping through the ceiling, swift kicks knocked out the commandos at the controls, and she is met by Ahsoka, who is showing exactly why she was paired with Skywalker. Recognizing her own trait of overconfidence in this girl, she used it against Ahsoka by avoiding attacks, only to draw her near the cell and then used her momentum to trap the Padawan, while Nute steps out and locks her in. But Luminara and Dooley had arrived and quickly freeze Tano, and just like with Annie and Obi, she feigns to surrender when pinned between these Jedi blades. It was only to stall for a few seconds to allow her detonators to go off, and in the shock she force pushes herself an opening, rushes to the elevator, and uses her blades as brakes to slow her descent. She would lead Unduli to the underbelly of the engine room, striking a pipe that releases searing gas into the Jedi's face. Her eye burning with pain, Luminara is still able to insult the assassin.
I recognize the fighting style of Count Dooku. Your version is unrefined, amateurish, sloppy.
The rage fueled her true self. The Banshee whipped around in a blur of red blades, moving the Jedi to the precipice, and a powerful dropkick sent her off. Then with a slash to the pipeworks above, Unduli was trapped in the pile. Just as she was about to deliver the killing blow, Ahsoka arrived with a force push of her own, and Ventress was sent back. The Dark Acolyte was eager to end this pests, but was unable to put them down quickly. Keeping that internal timer running throughout this battle, she knows that she has to get moving, and tosses more explosives as she slips away. Argus gets the signal, and in a flash he slaughters the other guards. He's able to get Nute onto a consular class. Ventress stalls a bit more, then finally makes her way to an escape pod to rendezvous with the consular. But when the cocky traitor acts like this was his achievement, Ventress makes sure that he is the final death of this operation. Though it wasn't long before she ran into Unduli again. On the icy world of Alzok 3, she is again bested by a Jedi duo, when Unduli and Sakura are able to trap her in an ice cave by collapsing the entrance. From here it was off to the Halcyon Star Cruiser to ensure the Hellenic Senator Zast Travak carried out his plans to defect to the Separatists. Using her Genevex, she secretly slipped into the vessel, and when he started to have second thoughts, he got a saber through his spine. Always one to have an escape route pre-planned. With a call to her ship, it's in position, and she smashes through the windows into the void of space, with her characteristically chaotic exit. Then again, we see her skills are needed on an ice world. This time it was Korm, where the details are sparse but tell us that the plot was foiled by Plo Koon and Commander Wolf. When they tried to pin her, her acrobatic escape resulted in a parting slash to the clone's head. He didn't die, but the blade vaporized the plastoid, skin, eye, and some bone as she raced away, and he would forever bear this scar. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full video here.